Welcome everybody, my name is MrLlama and today we are bringing you a ZVP between Fearless, the red Zerg spawning down in the bottom right corner, and our blue Protoss Hyo, who is going to be spawning over here in the bottom left corner. So this is going to be on Shakuras Plateau. And something of course to note about this map is the ramp. Everybody loves that ramp, so easy to defend. So a lot of times you will see the blue Protoss player going for the Forge Fast Expand, something like that, and that is exactly what it looks Hyo is going to do, unless he goes for some sort of crazy proxy, but nope, he's just going to be dropping down his pylon right here, and we will just have to see if he decides to open with a Forge first or a Nexus first, as that is generally the difference in this build, though sometimes you will see players open with a Gateway here, and just kind of hope that their opponent doesn't really scout it or doesn't really expect it. And you can open 2 gate and get very fast zealots at your opponent. If he's going for 3 base hatch because he doesn't scout it very quickly, then you can be in a very good situation. So I have definitely seen that, and it looks like Fearless is going to be sending out this drone here to scout as well. A little bit too early for an early hatch. So still, Fearless most likely going to be going for a gaseous expand, as that tends to be the norm. As of right now, in this matchup, you usually go for the gases expand, get up to the 3 base to counteract the Force Fast Expand. So that's just kind of how things generally work. And it looks like Hyo accidentally forgot to shift his probe or something, so he just sends free probes, and he is just long distance mining. So a little bit of a blooper right there already. As he has this rally point set over here to his forge. So Hyo fixed the rally point. There you go. He finally gets that fixed, but 2 probes going to be chilling behind this forge here. We'll have to see how long they stay there, and it looks like Hyo in the meantime going for the pylon block. So this is either going to force our red Zerg player Fearless to take a 3rd expansion here, or here of course, and yep, there we go. He's going to be taking his 3rd right out there, or of course just wait till the 21 timing where you get your lings out and your queen, and then your lings kill the pylon, you drop your hatch right there. So I've seen players back and forth on this. Some players really like to go for this 3rd hatch out here, and then they can kill this off and drop it down. They get very fast 3rd hatch. But other players really prefer to simply wait until they kill this off and then drop their hatch right there and then take a 3rd a little bit later, as it generally works a little bit better with your queen transfers. Like right here, it can kind of mess you up. Your queen has to walk that whole distance if you want to do a queen transfer down to there, things like that. So yeah, that can usually take a little bit of time. And Hyo getting down his expansion a little bit later than normal, I would say, but that's definitely because he was hoarding his probes up here, so his mining was a little bit off. And so he just kind of had, he didn't have as many probes mining that whole time. In the meantime, Fearless getting a nice little scout here. He's going to see when the gases go down, which should be going down fairly soon, you would imagine. Usually Protoss players will double gas here in a short while. And is Fearless going to take his 3rd base? I don't see a drone heading out there. There we go. So there's the drone. So yes, he will be going for the 3 base. And now the ball is going to kind of be in the Protoss player's court. So there's the gases that I was talking about. And what Fearless really needs to scout with this Overlord is these 2 gases over here of his opponent's natural. If he does not see any gas over here, he can expect some sort of 4-gate, 5-gate, 6-gate push, which will hit a little earlier. It can sometimes have a +1 on it. If he does scout 1 gas, then there could be a lot of things, but Blink Stalkers would be one of them. Usually some sort of 7-gate Blink Stalker +2, something like that, usually a hit. Void Ray could be in there, but just 1-gate Void Ray, and if he scouts 2 of these, then he should be expecting some sort of 2-gate Void Ray play, something along those lines. So there is a variety of options, and we'll just have to see what exactly the Protoss player decides to do. In the meantime, Fearless is just going to macro up, straight up behind this, get as many drones, I should say, as he can. And he just wants to kind of saturate all of these bases, and then really set up for that 8-minute timing where you just want to start really pumping out roaches, pumping out whatever sort of defensive unit you're going to have in preparation for your opponent's push. So the Overlord now going to be going around here to scout, and yes, he will see the gases, and that is kind of an early gas. So there's going to be this gas right here was taken decently early, but taking that 4th gas fairly early could be indicating or indicative of some sort of Void Ray play, but instead there's a Twilight Council going down, and interesting timing on this Twilight, as it is extremely early, so he'll be able to get Blink fairly quickly, though he doesn't have the resources at the moment. So it looks like some sort of blink +2 attack is possibly going to be coming. That usually hits around the 10:30 mark at the higher levels, 10:20, 10:15. So we'll have to see when exactly he can get his units out for that. In the meantime, Fearless once again still just droning up, finally taking a few gases here. So 3 gases, 1 at each expansion. I like that. A lot of players will take gas, like at both of their gases. If they want to take 2, they'll take both of them at their main, and then they'll send these drones to him, send those drones to him, and they'll have like 5 drones mining minerals right here and be way oversaturated elsewhere. But no, it looks like Fearless doing a great job of not being oversaturated. And he has enough drones at every base right here to be optimal. In the meantime, once again, another probe just kind of being silly, hanging out by the sentry, so not quite mining for Fearless. And Fearless actually going for the Dark Shrine, so I was wondering why that Twilight Council was so early. Usually you want to get that a little bit later after those gates, but no, he is going for DTs, he's going for the Dark Shrine, and that's why we saw the early gas. So if you see, once again, those really early gas like that, you can expect something sneaky. Double Void Rays, double Stargate Void Rays I should say, or DTs, something very gas intensive, as usually you do not need that much gas, unless you're getting, you know, those units out. In the meantime, Fearless, what choice is he teching to? We do not know yet. He's just getting his lair down right now, so decent timing on the lair. Roach Warren finishing up a little bit later than you would usually like to see, but however, he did scout these 2 gas. Yes, he did scout these 2 gas. I'm going to go busy really fast. I'm sorry about that. So he did scout both those gas, and he knew that his opponent was going to be extremely gas intensive, which usually hits a little bit later. So throwing down the Spore Crawlers, he thinks that it's double Stargate, I would imagine, as that's why he has all of these Spore Crawlers, and possibly a little overreaction there. But it should be fine, as he's going to be able to see all of these DTs coming into his base. But does he have any Spore Crawlers at his natural? No, he does not, so this is going to be a little bit of trouble. He's just going to be getting it down right now. But it looks like Hayo thinks his opponent has 4 bases already. Instead, he's going to be sneaking over here to his 3rd. So that could be costly, as by the time he gets back, this Spore Crawler here will almost be done. And are there any roaches on the field to deal with this is the real question. 10:30 has come, and there are no units out for Fearless, so this is a little scary. Some roaches about to pop, though. And the Spore Crawlers will go down, and a lot of Spore Crawlers there. Oh, some Spine Crawlers there as well to defend. So it looks like the DT is going to push over here now to this 3rd base. He does almost have enough energy to transfuse if he needs to save one a little bit later. The Queen going to be picking away at the DTs here, and roaches finally do come into play, so they will be able to scare off these DTs. No real damage done from the DTs, so that's going to put our Protest player a little bit behind. As you really want to do damage with DTs, and if you are unable to do damage, then that just kind of puts you in a bad position, as you can see. Not as many drones for Fearless, as he did invest so many in the Spore Crawlers there, but there's not really a huge force at all for Hayo. That's the thing. A lot of his money is invested in that Twilight Council, in that Dark Shrine, in those DTs right there, and if they can't really pay for themselves, that just in general puts you a little bit behind. So going to now be getting some Spine Crawlers here at his 3rd. Good choice. Definitely you want to have those with Spore Crawlers, as just detecting DTs is usually not enough. You want to have something to, of course, kill them off. So if DTs sneak in while you're out pushing and kill off your Spore Crawlers because you have no Spine Crawlers, well, then you're in a little bit more trouble. So in the meantime, we have a Hydrogen going down for Fearless, so he is going to be getting that upgrade, getting his +1 Carapace. He already has +1 air done, and getting Burrow as well. So I love this move. He scouted the DTs, or he knew the DTs were coming down, and he knows, okay, my opponent has a Twilight Council as well, so there's a chance he won't have a Robo. Turns out his opponent actually did go for a Robo, so he's going for a very complex mixture here of 6-gate Robo DT Blink, which is just a lot of tech to be investing in. And look at the oversaturation on that natural right there. Not something that you want to be doing, as if you look, all of these probes right here are not adding any additional mining to his base right now. So he could have a few of those. He could have 8 of those over here on this main right here and be in a good position, or a little bit better position, but right now this is not the most efficient mining. And one probe even just chilling, not mining at all. So looks like we are going to see some sort of push out by Fearless. He does have a decent supply lead right there. A lot of money banked if you look at that. He should be getting more of his gas right there. Only 2 guys on that extractor, and We'll have to see if what he's going for. It looks like he's going to be going for the push as soon as this Roach Burrow finishes, I would imagine. So just waiting for these upgrades here to finish, and that's usually when you want to push out as soon as those upgrades hit, as there's usually a tiny window when you make that push that you have upgrades that your opponent does not. But in the meantime, it looks like Hayo possibly going to push out as well. And the thing is, no, he's just taking a third instead. So Hayo opting to try and take this sneaky third right here, but it's going to be right in front of his opponent's vision. So as soon as it goes down, Fearless will see what's up, and he just needs to make sure to hit before any sort of Colossus tech gets out. Is there a robotics bay at all? No, there is not. So it looks like he's going to push in right now, try and snipe off the pylon, not be able to get it. Instead lose a couple units, but we see, look at those claws on the back of those roaches, so that's how you know they have tunneling claws. Or spikes, I should say, on the back of those roaches, not really claws. And those look cool. I've never really actually looked at them, but those look awesome. Alright, anyways, yep, so the force now of Fearless is maxed out versus opponent's 150 army. This is definitely a time to hit. If he waits too much longer, his opponent could get a really scary army. He could start getting the Colossus out, and then that would make it extremely difficult for Fearless to defend there. But it looks like instead Hayo's going to try and push in here. No, he's going to go around this choke instead and engage his opponent out in the open field. I'm not sure I like this choice right here, and Fearless could possibly do some damage. A force field just kind of thrown over there. So nothing too much, and it looks like there's going to be an engagement right here. Fearless going to go ahead and go for it. No, he's going to back out, just bait some force fields. So decent force fields actually going down. They're going to be able to block a decent amount of the army. But Fearless, once again, still maxed, and Hayo only at that 160 supply. He has not taken his third yet, so I'm a little interested in that decision right here. You would imagine that he'd be getting a third down behind this push or some sort of tech, but no, he is not. So it looks like he's investing a lot into this 2 base right here. And here we go. There's going to be a big battle engagement right here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Force fields are going to be huge, but it looks like the force fields aren't splitting off enough. There we go. Finally able to split off about half that army. The Hydra is doing so much DPS. Blink going down. So it looks like Hayo actually doing a decent job, but Hydra is doing so much damage to this army, and Fearless able to remax pretty quickly behind this as he had so much money banked. So 17 more roaches on the way. He's also getting his 2-2. What are the upgrades like? 2-0 versus 1-1. So it's pretty even in the upgrade trade right now. And it looks like Fearless may be able to actually clean this up as Hydra's doing so much DPS to the army. And yes, he's going to force this back. So forcing this back right now is huge. He's able to get his 4th base up. His opponent does not have a 3rd base at all. So he is simply rewarping in off of whatever he can. And he is definitely invested in sort of this all-in. It looks like Fearless can just kind of make a push now if he wants, as he knows his opponent is going to be in a difficult situation, especially when he scouts that there is no 3rd up. He says, okay, my opponent is simply in trouble, and if he tries to take a 3rd now, I can punish him, especially since he has all of these units. He has all of these units right here. He's almost maxed out once again after that engagement, and he could max out actually if he wanted to. Let's look in the unit. Yes, he has 14 larvae, so he could max out if necessary. It looks like an infestation pit, so possibly saving up for infestors. Nope, there we go. So now he's going to max out. And I love that he burrowed his Hydralisk. Hydras do not heal extra fast, I believe, when they are underground. No, they do not. So that is just the roach. Just something to note, but it was pretty funny that, you know, he tried it out anyways. So taking his 4th base there, getting it saturated a little bit. I'd like to see him get those gases, and there we go. Perfect timing with what I am saying. I love it when that happens. I'd like to see him get those gases. And Hayo, in the meantime, could actually have a chance here if there's not a push, but Fearless going to be pushing out, so Hayo is going to need a perfect sort of defense right here. Does he have any sentries with force fields? No, that's going to make this extremely difficult to defend. It looks like Fearless is going to be able to push in and get a decent concave here for this army, able to take out most of those cannons fairly quickly, taking out the gateways, and now he has such a great concave. Hayo is in a difficult situation. He's going to be forced to back up and sack this base. He's going to have to be forced into his 2 bases right here. And we'll let the Nexus finish. And Hayo not even going to do that. Not even a GG. Hayo just leaves the game. So beautifully played there by Fearless. Nice win. I like the creep spread as well. Getting that over there to his opponent's side of the map. But a great hold there on his 3rd base. A great read on the DTs. Or the double proxy Stargate. Double Stargate doesn't have to be proxy. Whichever it is, Spore Callers deal with both of those, so nicely counter right there, and ever since that happened, that kind of just gave Fearless the ability to take that lead and really put himself in a better position and above or in front of his opponent for the rest of the game, and he was able to capitalize, didn't make any major mistakes. Got the upgrade advantage on his opponent, 2-2 versus the 2-0 there. And basically did everything they needed to do, so nice expanding behind that as well, and a little DT sneaking in there, so doing some damage. But yeah, GG, well played by Fearless. I hope you enjoyed this game. My name is MrLlama, and it has been a pleasure.